தமிழக சட்டப்பேரவை கூட்டத்தொடரில் ஆளுநர் RN ரவி உரையாற்ற உள்ளார். அதனை நேரலையில் பார்க்கலாம். நடப்பாண்டின் முதல் சட்டப்பேரவை கூட்டத்தொடர் என்பதால் கலைவாணர் அரங்கத்தில் இன்று துவங்கியிருக்கிறது. அதில் மரபுப்படி ஆளுநர் தன்னுடைய உரையை ஆற்றிவிட்டு அதற்கு பிறகு சட்டமன்ற கூட்டத்தொடர் நடைபெற துவங்கும். சட்டமன்ற மரபுப்படி தற்போது அவரை சபாநாயகர் அவர்கள் அவருடைய இருக்கைக்கு அழைத்து வரக்கூடிய இந்த காட்சியை நாம் நேரலையில் பார்த்துக் கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். பல்வேறு புதிய நடைமுறைகள் தற்போது இந்த சட்டப்பேரவை கூட்டத்தொடர் மூலமாக நடைமுறைக்கு வந்திருக்கின்றது. குறிப்பாக சமூக வலைதளங்களில் நேரலை உட்பட பல்வேறு முக்கிய அறிவிப்புகள் தற்போது வெளியாகி இருக்கிறது. கூடுதல் தகவல் இணைகிறார். சட்டப்பேரவை அதிகாரப்பூர்வமாக தொடங்கியிருக்கிறது. தமிழ்தாய் வாழ்த்துடன் தற்போது சட்டப்பேரவை கூட்டத்தொடர் தொடங்கியுள்ளது.
தெக்கணமும் நதி சிறந்த திராவிடன திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறைநுதலும் தரிதனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திரும்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Honorable members of the Legislative Assembly, Vanakkam. It is a great honor and privilege to deliver my first address to the 16th Legislative Assembly in this august house. This house has a glorious heritage, and all of you are proud inheritors of this legacy. I take this opportunity to extend my warm greetings for the new year and Pongal to all the members and to the people of Tamil Nadu. I wish that this year brings happiness, prosperity and well-being to the people of the state. I would like to congratulate the Honorable Chief Minister Thiru M.K. Stalin for galvanizing the entire government machinery and effectively managing the second wave of the COVID pandemic by ramping up health infrastructure, ensuring availability of oxygen and essential drugs, and transforming the vaccination drive into a people's movement immediately after assuming office. The government's strategy in successfully containing the second wave without significantly affecting people's livelihood and economy has served as a model for the entire nation. The government has taken extensive measures to increase the coverage of vaccination against COVID. Mega vaccination drives are being conducted on a weekly basis throughout the state. When this government assumed office, the coverage of vaccination was very low, with only 8.09% of the eligible population having been administered the first dose and 2.84% the second dose. In just 7 months, due to the concerted efforts of this government, the vaccination coverage has been increased to 86.95% for the first dose and 60.71% for the second dose, with a total of 8.55 crore doses being administered. I request the people of Tamil Nadu to continue to cooperate with the government's efforts to ensure success. In line with the new policy announced by the Honorable Prime Minister on 25th December last year, the state has expanded the vaccination program to cover children in the age group of 15 to 18 years and will provide precaution dose for frontline staff, health workers, and vulnerable sections above 60 years of age. Recently, the Omicron variant of coronavirus has been identified and reported in many states of India, including Tamil Nadu. In order to prevent the spread of this variant, the government has strengthened testing and checking protocols at international airports. Based on the experience gained during the second wave, Tamil Nadu was one of the first states in the country in establishing facilities for genome sequencing. Further, the government is augmenting RT-PCR testing facilities, installing oxygen-generating PSA plants, and increasing ICU beds. The government is fully prepared to tackle the new variant and the challenges it poses. The government is providing rupees 25 lakhs ex gratia to the families of frontline workers who lost their lives due to COVID and rupees 5 lakhs to children who have lost their parents. Further, the Tamil Nadu government has ordered an ex gratia of rupees 50,000 from the State Disaster Response Fund to the kin of persons who have lost their lives due to COVID. So far, relief has been provided to 27,432 families. Heeding to the appeal of the Honorable Chief Minister, donations from various quarters have poured into the Chief Minister Public Relief Fund. So far, rupees 543 crore has been received since the government assumed office, and rupees 541.64 crore has been spent towards COVID-related activities. The Chief Minister's Comprehensive Health Insurance Scheme, which was introduced by Muthamid Arinar Kalainar, has been expanded with the annual income ceiling limit being increased from rupees 72,000 to rupees 1,20,000. The government has also extended the insurance scheme to COVID-positive patients to avail all types of treatment free of cost in private hospitals. As a result, 33,117 persons have availed treatment worth rupees 387 crore so far. The government has launched a novel scheme of providing health services at the doorsteps of people, Makkalai Thedi Marutuvam. The scheme was launched with a total outlay of rupees 257 crore to address the increasing incidence of non-communicable diseases such as hypertension and diabetes. So far, 42,99,294 patients have benefited under this scheme. Varumam Kappom Tittam, which was launched by Muthamid Arinar Kalainar, has been revived by this government, and medical camps are being conducted throughout the state under this scheme. With a noble intention of preventing loss of precious lives due to road accidents, the government has launched Inuir Kappom Namai Kakum 48 Tittam. Through this scheme, the government will bear the cost for critical care during the first 48 hours after the accident. In the first phase, 609 hospitals have been enrolled in this scheme. So far, 4,482 accident victims have been provided critical care. Many parts of the state, including Chennai, witnessed unprecedented rains and flooding during the northeast monsoon. Under the direct supervision of the Honorable Chief Minister, there was timely release of surplus water from dams and reservoirs as a precautionary measure. It is praiseworthy that the Honorable Chief Minister led from the front, personally visiting the affected districts and ensuring that immediate relief was provided to the affected people. Due to meticulous planning, deft management and effective supervision, the loss of life has been minimized. However, there has been extensive damage to roads, bridges, water bodies and crops. The government has submitted detailed memoranda seeking funds to the tune of rupees 6,230 crores to undertake relief and restoration work. We urge that funds from National Disaster Response Fund be released immediately in order to ameliorate the effects of damage caused by the floods. In order to suggest permanent measures to prevent inundation of Chennai, an advisory committee has been constituted to give recommendations on long-term mitigation and management of flood risk. This government will implement the permanent measures recommended by the committee to prevent inundation and consequent damages. The government will distribute a gift hamper for Pongal containing 19 grocery items and sugarcane to all 2.15 crore rice ration card holders in the state at a total cost of rupees 1,297 crore, so that the people who were severely impacted by the second wave of COVID and unprecedented rains can celebrate the Pongal festival with joy. The GST compensation regime is coming to an end on 30 June 2022. After the introduction of GST, the state was not able to realize the high growth of tax collection that it had witnessed during the VAT regime. The COVID pandemic has further exacerbated this problem. The state's revenues are yet to recover, and it would adversely impact the state finances if the compensation is not extended for at least 2 more years. Therefore, this government strongly urges the GST Council and the Finance Ministry of the Government of India to continue the GST compensation at least till 30th June 2024. It is the vision of the Honorable Chief Minister to make Tamil Nadu a $1 trillion economy by the year 2030. The government has already initiated various programs and policies to achieve this vision. A detailed action plan titled Towards $1 trillion economy will be prepared to ensure that this vision is realized. The government has been taking earnest efforts to improve the ease of doing business and reduce the compliance burden for businesses and citizens. The Honorable Chief Minister has launched a new single window portal and a mobile app to facilitate its use. Further, during the last assembly session, 165 obsolete and redundant acts were repealed. In a survey conducted by a popular English weekly, our Chief Minister has been adjudged as the most popular Chief Minister in the home state in India. It is laudable that the Honorable Chief Minister has achieved this recognition within such a short span of time after taking charge. The government has remained true to the Honorable Chief Minister's commitment of providing responsive administration. At the end of the first 100 days of Uggal Togutil Mudatamaichar scheme, the government has successfully redressed 229,216 petitions. To continue this good governance practice, the government has created a separate department, Mudalavarin Mugavari, under the direct supervision of the Honorable Chief Minister by the integrating Ungal Togutil Mudalvaichar department with CM Cell. The government is committed to uphold the glory of Tamil language. Muthamil Arinar Kalayanar had declared that the song Nirarum Kadaludut, penned by Manomaniyan Sundarnar, should be sung as Tamil Thai Vardu in government programs. This government has officially declared Tamil Thai Vardu as Tamil Nadu's state song and has mandated that it should be sung in an appropriate manner at the beginning of all events in educational institutions, universities, government offices, and public institutions. Steps will be taken to encourage this practice even in private institutions. Through the Engum Tamil, Edulum Tamil scheme, the uses of Tamil language will be popularized in all government institutions, private schools, shops, and commercial establishments. Necessary guidelines will be framed under the Tamil Nadu Official Language Act 1956 to implement this scheme. In order to encourage the students studying in Tamil medium, 100 textbooks in various subjects in professional courses are being translated into Tamil. The government has declared January 12 as World Tamil Diaspora Day, which will be marked by special events every year. Steps will be taken to bring together all Tamil welfare associations in different countries and in other states of India on a single platform. This will help the non-resident Tamils to be in touch with their roots and also facilitate their investment in the state. The Thai Man scheme will enable non-resident Tamils to participate in the development of infrastructure in their native places.